How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to go over The Last of Us HBO Season 1, Episode 5. We are now over halfway done with the first season of this new show on HBO Max. And it's been a weird, just to kind of summarize what I've been over in the past, four episodes now, five with this one of this review series that I'm doing. I've had a mixed bag of emotions when it comes to it. In a lot of ways, I appreciate what it's doing. I love the world. I think it looks beautiful. I think it is acted decently. I think it's gotten better as the show's going on. I've found Pedro Pascal as Joel. He's likable. Same goes to, again, Bella Ramsey. I've been saying from the beginning, I think that she plays the part well. I was just kind of feeling that she was getting a little bitchy for a few episodes there. But I also know that Ellie is a little bitchy, especially towards the beginning. So I'm kind of, they're growing on me a bit. I just watched the past few episodes with my sister yesterday, just catching, kind of just catching her up. And I watched through all the episodes again, and I've kind of found a newfound appreciation for these episodes, leading into episode 5. And look, all in all, like, I'm having a decent time with it. Listen, I know I've been mostly negative on this series. It's just because I've been stuck in this whole, like, it's not like the games. So immediately it's already a negative, and I have to kind of look at it from another way, another perspective. People who haven't played the games, or maybe just look at it as a person who's not going to sit here and judge it for everything it does differently from the source material. So I've been kind of going at it a different way, and now looking at it through a different lens. I appreciate what it does. Again, I say it in every video. I like that The Last of Us is relevant in 2023. It gives me a reason to talk about something that I love. It's one of these series that really hits home with me, and and a lot of my friends, and Jan, my co-host on the podcast, and it just feels good to talk about a series that I really appreciate and love. So I'm all for it. I love the relevance that it has in today's day of age, and for that alone, I like what the show is doing. I do have a lot of gripes, and I am gonna go over them here a little bit in this review. But all in all, it's not a terrible time. I just don't think it's a 10 out of 10 show. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's like a masterclass storytelling that a lot of these people are doing. I feel like the hype is kind of ridiculous when it comes to this show. And when somebody overhypes something too much, immediately you start to not really like it. Anyway, so look, that's a long ass intro. It's been 3 minutes now, and I haven't even talked about the episode. So if you sat around long enough to hear my introduction, thank you for coming to this video. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like and subbing to the channel, we really appreciate it. And go check out the other reviews for each episode. I've done episodes 1 through 4 as well on the channel. I'll probably put a couple of those at the end of this video, so go check it out. And so let's talk about The Last of Us HBO Season 1, Episode 5. Okay, so now let's finally talk about the episode, because I've went on for, here we go, 3.5 minutes, and I have not even talked about the episode. So, initial thoughts. Again, I feel like I start every video the same way. I think it's a decent episode. It tells a decent retelling of the Sam and Henry storyline, which is one of my favorite storylines in the whole game. And leading up to episode 5, I wasn't exactly sure how they were going to handle this, because this is a very, very dark part of the story, and we know for obvious reasons. If you play the games, you know what happens, and I'm hoping if you watch this, you've seen the episode, so I'm just going to go out and say it. With Henry and Sam dying in a flash. They died really, really quick. Sam gets infected. And of course, he doesn't tell anybody. Well, he tells Ellie in the show, which was a pretty big difference than in the games. But he tells Ellie that he's infected. Ellie, she uses a little bit of her blood and puts it on his bite. I knew that was going to work. I was sitting with my wife while watching it, and the wife was like, "Ooh, did she just heal him?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't work like that. It's something in her blood that makes her immune to it. But it's not her blood herself. It's not the blood itself that is the cure. You know what I'm saying? It's something in her blood that makes her immune to the virus and the infection." Sorry, I keep hitting my microphone. I'm an idiot. Anyway, so I'm watching. I knew that he wasn't going to be healed. But anyway, he gets infected. Henry has to kill his own brother. And then he flips the gun on himself. Henry flips the gun on himself and kills himself right in front of Ellie and Joel. And it's a pretty devastating moment. In the games, it's like, holy shit. When it happens, It happens. You see Joel and Ellie for like a split second, and it cuts to black, and then it fast forwards in time. I forgot how long it is. I don't know if it's a month or a few weeks. I'm not sure. But that's when they're trying to find Tommy. Which I think episode 6 is gonna have. I think it's called Kin. And I think Tommy is supposed to be pretty dominant in the episode. So that'll be interesting to see because we haven't seen Tommy since the premiere. But anyway, that's besides the point. I was kind of surprised they kept that in there, man, because that's such a dark moment, and this show thus far hasn't been super dark. And that's the thing, you'll have people now, I just said that, you'll have people in the comments, and you'll have people, saying shit to me like, all right, what do you mean it wasn't dark? This and this happened before this, and this happened here, and it's like, okay, I get all that. Yes, there's glimpses of dark, right? Like Joel in the premiere, right? They're taking these bodies out these trucks, and they're tossing them into this fire, and this lady, that's working with Joel, she comes up to the truck, and it's the little kid that they show after they do the time skip 20 years later. The kid that was found out to be infected, they promised the kid, hey, we'll give you food, we'll give you shelter and all that good stuff, and some new clothes to wear. And they straight up lied to the kid because they killed him. And then his body's on the truck, and this one lady, she sees the kid's body, and she looks at Joel and says, I can't do it. So Joel, without even thinking, picks the boy's corpse, picks it up, and tosses it in the fire. And you're like, okay, yeah, that's dark, but I mean, it really didn't hit the nail like it does in the games, in a sense where, like, and that's just one example. Obviously, there's other examples of pretty dark stuff. Tess dying, that's pretty dark. But again, I thought it was a little bit darker in the game, in a sense where when she got bit, she told everybody to go, and Fedra was coming, and they ended up gunning her down. And I thought that was a little bit more tragic, in my opinion, than being killed by the infected. But anyway, that's besides the point. I was just surprised they took it that far. I was surprised they took it that far and let Henry and Sam die, and let Henry die the way he does. And I found this out, and let me know if any of you guys actually knew this or not. Apparently, the writers of this show, if you notice, like a lot of the scenes where there's guns involved, it's very minimal. They don't show too much like actual shooting or anything like that. And apparently the reason is because they didn't want to portray gun violence in this show. Like unlike in the games, it's a lot of violence, right? I mean, dude, it's like the stuff you can do to people is nuts in that game. But apparently they wanted to tone down like the shooting aspects and stuff, to cut down, like to give like a message on gun violence. And I'm sitting here like, and listen, look, I don't care which way you lean, man. I'm not trying to bring that to this channel. I don't care if you lean left or right or you're in the middle. I don't give a shit. I don't care about politics. It does not matter to me. But are you kidding me? Like, okay, listen, I'm not saying that's not an important issue. I think that definitely, obviously, things in the world, I get that. But we're talking about a TV show that's in the apocalypse. You literally have things trying to eat your face every second you step outside. You step outside, you risk your life. You drink a sip of water, you risk your life. In the words of Herschel Green from The Walking Dead. Like you literally these characters being put in these very extreme and dangerous situations, and you're telling me, like, I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to really formulate thoughts on this, because I'm sitting here like, this is not the show for this. This is a survivalist. These are survivors. There's raiders. There's infected. How else are they going to die? Like, they can't just die from just knife kills, which I thought was kind of, you want to talk about things with this episode, right? At the very end, probably the best scene in the entire show thus far, in my opinion, was, you have the sniper, the sniper mission of the game where the sniper's shooting at you, and you have to, like, get around the sniper, and then the infected come in, and you have to kill the infected to keep them away from Ellie, Sam, and Henry. Well, in the show, it's a little bit different. Yes, the sniper is there. However, those raiders that we've been following, led by Kathleen and her bearded right-hand man, who's Tommy from the game, they come and raid him, and Henry pretty much gives himself up to protect Sam, because, obviously, why wouldn't he? And so they end up irritating this, like, nest, and you just see this car get sucked into the ground, and then all this herd of infected comes out, and then the bloater is like the last one to come out. I mean, this huge hulking beast. And I was like, okay, all right, here we go. Yeah, that ended like in 2 seconds, dude. Again, where is the gore? Like, where's the gore? Like, I don't. I'm sorry, man. Like, I know I've said it a bunch of times, and that's why I'm not really digging the show. It's not immersive, bro. I need gore. That in a world like this, it's gonna be bloody, man. Look, I'm not. Look, I've said it a million times in this series on my podcast. I've said it in my own personal life. I'm sure my friends are like, "Yo, shut the fuck up." You know what I mean? Listen, I'm not a gore nut, right? Like I could give like I'll give two shits about Saw, like the series Saw. I give two shits about it because it's senseless gore for the sake of having it. In a world like this that is story driven, the gore just adds to the story. This is a world where you literally have these things out and about that can like tear your face open, man. Dude, when that bloater came out the hole and he attacked a few people, he's like tossed them left, right. I was like, okay, this is cool. He goes up to the bearded guy who's like, again, Kathleen's right hand man, grabs him and does the kill from the game. Like if like I said, if you failed the mission, grabs his head, but they zoom out on it so bad that you don't even get to see the gore. You see him rip the head off, barely any blood, and I'm sitting there like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like I understand, okay. Because people say, well, they're trying to focus more on the story. Okay, you can focus just as much on the story and give me gore. I'm disappointed because you think, again, HBO Max, I should have gore. I should have gore. I don't need to see titties. I don't need to see a sex scenes everywhere. Give me some gore. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm asking for that much. Their budget is through the roof for this show. I know for a fact with practical effects and a little bit of CGI, give me some gore. That I don't think it's that much to ask. And I know I'm not going to get it. I know that, you know, here we are over halfway done with the show, and I'm not going to get the gore I want. And that's fine. Look, the show's not made for me. It's made for a bunch of people who want to hype shit up more than what it is. That I don't think that this show is a 10 out of 10, and it's for reasons like this. I think that it's rushes through storylines. Listen, Sam and Henry, I love those characters, and I like them in the show. But you don't get to know them, and then they just die, and it's... Again, I know the story. I know what's going to happen to these characters. But what made them special was you got to spend time with them in the game. You got to know them. You got to see these genuine moments like between Joel and Henry talking about motorcycles. You know what I mean? You got these moments. And they're small, but damn it, they go a long way because when you see that kill, you see Sam get infected and then he turns into an infected and he has to be put down by his own brother and then Henry kills himself. It's like, damn. Wow. Holy shit. And it makes you feel something. I felt nothing here. Again, I've seen the story a billion times. I knew what was coming. And for people who have not played the game, more power to you. I'm sure it did hit. But this isn't it. This isn't it. They're rushing everything. That whole sequence with them all together, they rushed it. They rushed the whole thing. Again, Joel and Ellie, you know, I do like them separately. I think they're decent characters. I thought it was funny with Joel. You know, he didn't even hear his own trap going off. They're stepping on the glass, Henry and Sam, and they come in there and they have them at gunpoint. And I thought that was a good little sequence. And, you know, everything else, I'm glad Kathleen is dead. I'm sorry. She's just not a good leader. Nothing off on the actress. She did a good job for what she had. You know, there's people like literally attacking this woman online, and I don't get it. Like, listen, she's playing a character, okay? And she's doing it well. She's doing what she's supposed to do. It's not her fault it doesn't hit. It comes down to writing. Again, I don't feel like the writing is all that in the show. I just don't. You know what I mean? I just don't. And I don't, the hype, it's just, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. And not in a good way. It's more of just like, all right, listen, it ain't all that. But anyway, all in all, listen, it's a decent episode. If I had to give it a rating, I would say 6 or 7. Again, I've been giving every episode 6 or 7 pretty much since the premiere. And I think the second episode I gave it like an 8.5 or 9 because I did enjoy that episode. I just watched it again yesterday and I enjoyed it. I was like, all right, you know what I mean? This is pretty good. You know what I mean? It had a little bit of gore in there. I wish it had a little bit more, but it had decent enough. You know what I mean? That I would have been okay with. But I don't know, man. Look, that's my thoughts on it. All in all, the episode was good. Yeah, like I said, I know the episode's gonna have a lot to do with Tommy and seeing him again. I think that's a good move and a good point in the story. We're about to get to those winter months. here soon, and that's where the game really gets really riveting, you know? Because up until this point, it's just more of like, okay, we got precious cargo, we got to get from here to here. But this is when their Joel and Ellie's relationship really flourishes and gets really strong. So I'm still intrigued. I'm gonna keep it going, and this series will keep living on for as long as it can. But I am immensely disappointed with a lot of decisions they made. But yeah, that's all I got for you. I know I probably sound like I'm rambling on, but let me know what you guys think about episode 5 or what you think of the show in general. I'm open to all opinions. Listen, if you think it's great, fantastic. I just don't see it. I do not see it. And I just think, again, I don't want to do this, but I have to. The game just hit me on more levels. I just beat the remake recently, and I felt every scene again. And watching this, I'm just like, I don't see it. You know what I mean? I don't see it. But anyway, that's my episode 5 review. Again, let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.